give you variations. A yoga teacher used to describe it, and I've kind of stolen this from her, because variations are like bus stops. Everybody's riding the bus. We're all in the room together. We're all riding the same bus, but we do not have to get off at the same stop. So think of your variations like that. You know, you might want to get off early. You might want to stay on a little bit longer. You choose that bus stop that works for you. There's not one required space except to breathe. The only thing I require in class. So if this opening position that you've chosen for yourself is your bus stop and you just want to stay here for the whole class, doesn't bother me one bit. Doesn't bother me. And I'll invite you to start however it feels comfortable in your body. So if you're lying down and it feels good, stay there. You don't have to shift. You don't have to move. If you are uncomfortable, make your way to a space that feels sweet, that brings a bit of ease into your body. And then invite the eyes to become heavy. The eyelids might close a little bit if that's comfortable. And let the mind just shift around your physical body. It's Thursday. It's probably been a funky week for most of us. Monday was a holiday for many. So notice how that funkiness, notice how the time of the day has affected your physical body. You might notice the joints, shoulders, the elbows, the wrist. And then check in with the hips, the knees, the ankles, all the way down to the toes. Notice if there are parts of the body that complain, or if there are parts of the body that feel really peaceful. And then slowly shift that awareness from the physical body to the mental, to the mind. And notice the way the mind reacts. Sometimes my mind tries to explain why something feels tight, tender. Tries to justify it. Not enough sleep, too much action. Yoga asks us to notice and then let that observation drift away. It'd be really challenging to notice and then the observation drifts away. Sometimes that observation, the release of observation comes really easily. Sometimes it's a huge challenge. We're going to let the thoughts just float away. Send the awareness to the breath. And watch as your breath comes in and goes out. Notice the fullness or the shallowness of your breath. Notice where you feel the rise and the fall of your chest. If you'd like to join me, I'm going to slide my hands to rest on the belly. I like my 2 thumbs above my belly button and the 4 fingers holding soft spots. We're just going to imagine shifting the awareness down into that belly, inviting that belly to expand as you inhale. And then the belly comes toward the spine, maybe even slightly up as you exhale. And explore that deep diaphragmatic breath, that belly breath, inflating the belly, and then drawing the belly up and in. always know that anytime we work with breath, anytime we practice pranayama, it is optional. It's also not a place to seek out perfection, rather just an observance. And you get that belly to inflate. Not exaggerate it like a kid after Thanksgiving dinner, maybe your uncle, but more just a soft little pull and push of the belly. And then I'm going to slide one of my hands from the belly and to the rib cage. I'll think about deepening that inhalation. I'll fill up the belly first, and then the inhale, keep expanding the ribs. Exhalation just slides right out the back. So a two-part breath, filling the belly, filling across the ribs, and then releasing the exhale. To keep the hand on the rib cage, but slide the one from the belly up to the collarbone, right underneath the collarbone, that topmost part of the lungs. Moving into that three-part breath, inhalation fills the belly, expands the ribs, reaches up into the topmost part of the lungs. The exhalation is just a soft release, letting the breath go. Take a few more rounds, noticing if one part of the breath, one area of the body is more accessible. You might even try to release the hands and notice that breath moving belly, ribs, inhaling, sipping into the topmost part of the lungs, and then releasing. There's an invitation to follow 2 more rounds of breath just like that. And then a return to the natural flow. Just letting the breath move in and out. Observing any changes or shifts in that breath. And then release the observation of the breath. We'll make our way on to our backs. Bring the strap along with you, please. I like to stretch the fabric, the strap, and just rest it on the chest or the torso somewhere. Some people like to leave it to the side of the body. Either one is fine. We'll meet with the back of the hips onto the mat, the back of the shoulders on the mat, the back of the skull on the mat. If you've got a blanket or any other props, just adjust so that you can feel the back of the body against the mat. And then bend the knees move to the ceiling, both feet find the floor. Take a pause there. And again, I'm going to use tactile assist. I'm going to self-assist with my own hands. Hands are always optional. I'm going to slide my hands to the top of my hips, that iliac crest, that bony part of the hips. And I'm doing this just to kind of notice as we start to curl the tailbone up to the back of the knees, you might feel belly come down. You might feel the low back spread across the mat. And then curl the tailbone in the opposite direction. Tip it down toward the mat. You might feel the belly expand. You might feel that low back kind of lift up off of the mat. Again, hands are optional. We'll take a few more pelvic tilts, just noticing how our hips move in this space, in this direction. I like to think of the pelvis as like a bowl, a water bowl, a bowl that has water in it. And if I dip the tailbone down toward the mat and the low back lifts, all the water would slush right out. And if I press the low back down and let the tailbone curl to the backs of the knees, all of the water would slosh toward the back.
I'm hoping that analogy makes sense. If it doesn't, no worries. Just take the little pelvic tilts, rocking along the back of the body. Now, if that idea of a bowl makes sense, find a neutral space where your bowl is steady enough to hold water. There's no water sloshing out either side. Keep that and start to lift the right foot from the mat, like think half chair pose. The bottom of the foot flexes, it presses toward the window. Knee is over the hips. Try to keep that pelvis stable and lower the right foot down. Set it on the mat, lift the other one. Again, the knees bent, the ankles flexed. We're marching in place. Let's speed it up a little bit. If you find that your pelvis starts to slosh water out, that imaginary water, slow it back down. And just take a few more to each side, noticing what fires up. Noticing the stability of the spine, the stability of the pelvis. And then the next time that right knee lifts, the right foot floats. Let's go ahead and gather up the right leg, hug it in towards the body. You can hold on to the shin or the back of the leg and move through the ankle. Give the ankle a little bit of love. Spread through the toes. Maybe even slow it down a bit and start to articulate all those little bones and joints in the foot. Take those circles in the other direction. And then hug the leg in as close as you can get it toward the belly, but release the hands, gather up your strap. We'll wrap the strap around the ball of that right foot and start to extend the right foot to the ceiling. I've got one hand on either tail of the strap, Padangusthasana A. We're going to draw the toes toward the nose, extend the heel up. Think about lengthening the back of the knee as much as comfortable in your body. Take a few breaths right here. Come back to that idea of the pelvis being stable. Let that whole right leg kind of descend and steady itself inside the hip sockets. And then put both straps into the right hand. We're all going to take that right leg out toward the boutique. You can set the elbow down. Keep lengthening the leg, reaching it out away from you. And then notice if you've rolled over more weight into the right bum. Level out the hip, steady it out. It's not about how far that leg opens, but more can you find the stability of the pelvis. And then here, we're going to turn and kind of peek at the right foot. Some people don't need to peek, I do. And we're going to think about rolling the pinky edge, the knife edge of the foot toward the boutique, any amount. And then roll the inner big toe mound, the inner arch, the inner heel toward the boutique, any amount, all while keeping the pelvis stable. So our ankles getting a little inversion and eversion, but everything else stays the same. This is often a movement that most people lose as we get older. And if you were here yesterday and you're here today, you got older. So just notice if you lost that movement. And then release that, reach with the heel again, lift that right leg up toward the ceiling. Pause at the top. And then transfer the straps into the left hand. I'm going to take that left leg across the body just a few inches. Some people look at the ceiling tiles, one tile across. Some people line their toes up with their left shoulder. And then with your right hand, slide it toward that right thigh. Press the thigh away from the body, move the belly flesh out of the way. You can even put your thumb into the hip crease and help root that right bum cheek to the mat. Level pelvis, even though I'm cueing the bum. Take another breath there. Leg floats back up to the ceiling. You can release the strap or you can stay holding on. Your toes are in the direction of your face. Start to roll the toes out toward the boutique any amount. Knees gonna follow. And then roll the toes and the knee back toward the body in line with the spine. Take that a few more times. Start to recognize that the movement's coming from your femur and your hip socket, even though we see the foot and the knee move. Next time the toe rolls out to the side, bend the knee, come into figure 4. Go ahead and flutter that knee away from the body. Now, some of you are going to stay right here. This is bus stop number 1. You're just going to keep moving the knee toward the window because you already feel a stretch in the outer hip. Some of you are going to be like, nope, Catherine, I really want to thread the right hand in between the thighs, gather up the leg, and start to hug the legs in toward the body. Search for the stretch along the outer hip. Some people like to reach the left foot up to the sky. Some people like to keep it bent. Take another round of breath in your figure 4 stretch. And then if you're holding on to the leg, just release the hands. It can still stay in toward the body, or you can put the left foot down on the mat. We're going to sway the legs, that windshield wiper movement, side to side in our figure 4. Take that a few times and start to notice how the pelvis reacts to the shifting, to the movement. And then set that left foot on the floor. Start to extend the left leg. So drag the heel away from the body. Keep the figure 4 and notice what happens. It's a variation of our tree pose. We're just supine, we're lying down. You might even take the arms overhead. I'm going to find bent arms just in case I accidentally grab somebody's toe. You can rest the forearms or the elbows or the backs of the hands against the floor. Feel the connection of that outer right ankle against the thigh and think about pressing the 2 legs toward one another. Think about the level of the hips. And then release that right leg. Add a little full body stretch here. Maybe the toes come to the windows. You might float the arms. You might even hold your own arm or hand. And then release the arms. Return to that base pose. Back of the hips, back of the shoulders, back of the head on the mat. Feet on the mat, knees to the sky. And notice the difference between the 2 hips, the right and the left. Gather up the left leg, hug it in, hold on wherever you can reach. Give the ankle and the toes a little bit of love here, circling, spreading, bending, moving. Take those circles in the opposite direction. You might pull the leg in a little bit more with the hands, but release the hands. Try to keep the leg in nice and close. Find that strap. We'll lasso the bottom of the foot, the ball of the foot. Reach that left foot up toward the ceiling. Lengthening the back of the leg, letting the hands pull the strap tails down toward your body. You're looking for length, the back of the knee, the back of the hamstring. Breath moves steady, slowly. Pelvis is stable. And then both straps into the left hand. We'll take that left leg out toward this side. Again, not rolling onto the left bum, but trying to keep our little pelvic bowl stable so the water won't splash over the edges. Reaching with the heel first, lengthening the back of the leg. And then finding that shifting of the ankle, rolling the pinky toe, knife edge toward the parking lot. And then the inner arch, inner heel toward the parking lot. The movement's just in the ankle. Again, remember, if you've aged at all, this is challenging. And then reach with the heel, lengthen it one more time. Float the leg back up to the ceiling. Take it across the body. You can transfer the straps if that feels good. I'm going to find that self-adjust. The left hand's going to press the left thigh away. You can slide the thumb into the hip crease and roll that outer left hip down to the mat. The weight is equal through the bum. The pelvic bowl is steady and stable. And then release from that. You can slide the strap off, keep the leg lifted. Roll the toes away from the midline. They're going out to the parking lot. Knee follows, and then the toes and the knee come back in line with the spine. External rotation in that left hip. You might start to notice that one side, it's a little bit easier than the other. If that shows up, let the thought arise and then let it go. Start to bend the left knee, crossing the ankle over the other thigh, moving that left knee away from your body. So figure 4. Again, coming back to the variations, you can keep the foot on the floor. You can thread the arm in between the legs, gather it up. If you have very, very mobile hamstrings, you can even reach around the outer side of the legs and just hold the legs in your arms like a big hug. You're looking for what feels good in your body on this side. If you're holding the legs, let them go, and then just sway the legs side to side, windshield wipering the legs. The next time you come through center, pause. We'll set the right foot on the floor. So we've got that figure 4, keeping the figure 4, but sliding the heel out away from the body, extending that right leg. All 5 toes on the right foot up to the ceiling, left knee moving toward the mat. Pelvis steady, stable. If you want to grow your branches in this tree variation, feel free to let the arms shift and move, but keep that stability through the legs. Feel the ankle press into the thigh and the thigh press back. Feel the extension. Notice the breath. And in that full body stretch, extend the left foot toward the edge of the mat. You can reach the arms overhead. Reach a little through the right side, and then reach and stretch through the left side. Let's do that one more time. Exaggerate the stretch on the right, and then exaggerate the stretch on the left. Release the arms. Set the feet back down on the mat. Your choice, you can rock and roll along the spine, or if you'd rather roll over to the side and press on up, that's where we're going to meet in a seated shape. Everybody feel good? A lot of people like to sit on a blanket. It is optional. Some people like to hold it like this and sit on 2 blankets. I've been loving sitting on the corner of a blanket, but the choice is yours. We'll come to meet with the right knee out toward the side. And then we're going to play around with this left leg. Some of you are going to keep it nice and straight. Some of you are going to shift and swing it around behind you. So I want you to just explore what feels good in your body there. That's actually the movement we're going to take. Set the right hand down on the mat. You can lean a little bit into it. This is our bus stop number 1. We're going to focus on the movement in the left leg. I'm going to start to bring that left knee forward, extend it, Take it across the body, extend it, bring it over toward that right knee, and then swing it back out to the side again and behind. Yeah, that's the movement. Take a few of those. Another butt stop variation is no hands. If you're feeling really cocky, try not to lean over to the boutique. That one's hard. Sorry. Oh my God. Take it one more time. Let the left leg settle in, set the right hand down. We're gonna take that left arm for a circle, reach it toward the boutique, up to the ceiling, swing it around behind, and then do the circle again. Invite the whole spine to rotate with you. You'll notice that the hips are not really level here. That left bum is kind of floating up off the floor. And then take those circles in the opposite direction. Circling through the shoulder, inviting the spine to move and to stretch. The next time the arm swings over toward the boutique, set the hand down on the mat. Some of you are going to stay right here. Some of you are going to start to lower down to the forearms. Some of you might even find a bolster or a blanket and snuggle up under with it underneath your body, your torso. So find a bit of softness here and let the activity of the hips just release. Let it soften. You take several breaths here. Maybe even coming back to that 3-part breath. Filling up the belly, expanding the ribs. Sending the breath all the way up to the topmost part of the lungs. And then letting the exhalation just sigh right out of the body. Let's take our hands back to the mat. Start to lift the torso up. Feet are going to change directions. Knees are going to change directions. So let the knees float. Swing them over to the other side. Again, your right hand can come down for support. Right leg's going to stay bent. We're just going to explore the movement on this side. Bring the knee forward. Maybe kick it out. Swing it toward the leg. No right or wrong here. Just notice. Does one hip move a little bit easier than the others? Than the other one? Hopefully you don't have more than two. You've got that option, no hands, no leaning. You've got the option for all the support. And the next time it swings over to the boutique, pause. Let's set the left hand down, right arm's gonna make a circle, that big circle, move through the shoulder. Feel free to bend the elbow, let the spine move. I'm gonna go for 3 circles in both directions. And then as you finish up the circle, as the hand comes down to the mat, we're folding over that left leg. It can be more to the shin side. It could be more to the knee. It could even be more to the left outer thigh or outer hip. But let the body soften. Back to the breath. It's very common to find controlled breath challenging and a twist. But I notice as I learn to segment and identify those 3 parts of the breath, the belly, the ribs, the uppermost lung, I find it easier to breathe in and through a twist. And then the hands will plant. We'll walk the hands back in toward the body, lift up the body, swing both legs out in front of you. Find your strap one more time. You'll bend the knees. That's just to bring the feet closer to you. Lasso the bottoms of both feet. One hand on each tail of the strap and extend the legs out. So just like we did on our back, we're going to think about hugging the feet in toward the body, toes toward the nose. Reach with the heel energetically.
as well as physically. And then use this strap to actually pull in up through the chest, lengthen through the spine. Perfect. And then I want you to think about the pelvis and how it sits on the mat. I'm going to encourage you to tilt the water out. So start to hinge forward from the hips. Let the water, or that imaginary water, slosh out the backside. Sometimes I like to roll the straps around my hands and then use the strength in my arms to hug the belly toward the thighs. Moving from Dandasana into Paschimottanasana, you might even start to lower more. Keep the spine nice and long, keep the legs long. Remember to breathe. And then start to lift the body up. Unravel the strap. Give your fingers a good shape. We'll make our way into tabletop. I'm going to slide a little blanket underneath my knees. One, it's luxury, but two, my arms are really long and my legs are not that long. So it actually levels out my tabletop. As we come into tabletop, just check in and notice. If the wrists are bothering you, slide the hands a little bit away from the knee so that there's less stress on the wrist, or even lower down to the forearms if that feels good for you. And then come back to the awareness of the pelvis. As we move slowly into cat pose, I'm going to cue from the pelvis. Start to tuck the tailbone down to the backs of the knees. Feel the low back broaden. Now spread across the rib cage. Feel the shoulder blades pull apart. Lengthen the back of the neck, tucking the chin toward the chest. As we move into cow, start with the pelvis again. Curl the tailbone up. Let the low belly start to spread. The chest starts to spread. The chest comes forward. Lengthen through the throat. And then take a few on your own, attempting to start each of that cat and cow movement with the pelvis. Again, just like breath, not looking for perfection, but noticing, can we shift our perspective of how to move? And then a nice neutral spine. Start to slide the right foot back behind you. Toes touch the mat. Reach back with the heel. You might even take a sawing motion forward and back. This is bus stop number 1. Bus stop number 2 is to press into the hands, press into those right toes, hug the left knee in toward the chest. Think cat pose. You might even curl the chin down toward the knee. If you lifted the leg, set it back down. We're all going to lift the right foot, hover it from the ground. Try to bring that leg in line with the bum, in line with the back. Notice what happened with the pelvis. Roll the outer right hip down to the mat. Hug the belly into the spine. And then lower the right toes. Stay here, enjoying that calf stretch, or hug the left knee in toward the chest, rounding through the spine. If you lift it, lower the knee down. We'll all lift the right leg. Okay. One more time, just like that. Again, you choosing the bus stop that you want to stay at, where you want to get off. The next time the right leg floats, pause there, really reach with the heel. You might take the left arm forward, thumb to the sky, extended cat stretch. Draw everything into your midline. Breathe here, even in the hold. Beautiful. Set the hand down, set the knee down. Go directly to the other side. Left leg extends, toes tap the earth. You can shift back and forth. Or you can move immediately into that pressing of the hands, pressing of the left foot, hugging the right knee in, rounding through the spine. If you lifted the knee, set it back down, left leg floats. Find the extension. Okay. Roll the outer hip down. We often kind of think, oh, if I roll it up to the sky, it becomes easier. I want to roll it down so I can reach with the heel. And then moving at your own pace, foot lands. Pause there or lift the right leg. If you lift it, lower the right leg, float the left. One more, your pace, your breath. And then you've got that choice to extend the right arm forward to find your balance. Spreading through the fingers, thumb to the ceiling, often gives me a sense of stability. Keeping the eyes on one thing, creating a drishti, a place to focus. Breath moving. And then release the hand. Set the knee down. Feel free to widen the knees or to keep them narrow. Press back. Take a little child's pose. Sometimes I like to drop my elbows to the ground and lift my hands, give my wrist a little bit of love there. And then take a peek. You might want your blocks as we move through this next segment. Move through tabletop. If you like the extra height, feel free to slide the blocks down to the mat, let the hands land on them. Your blocks have 3 heights. If you use the highest one, press straight down. Don't press forward, the block will topple. Sorry, I don't like to be too demanding, but I don't want your block to topple. I don't want you to fall. Okay. Lift your right leg, extend it back behind you. Tuck the left toes. Notice how that feels. And then set the right foot on the floor. Hug the left knee into the chest. We're going to step that left foot forward. Ooh, perfect. Into a lunge. You can keep the right knee up. You can tap it back down to the ground. I'm going to start to slide my blocks. I like them in line with my heels. That works pretty well for me. Front knee bends, back leg lengthens, it straightens. And then start to send the hips back, extending through the left leg, trying to root the back heel to the mat, and then bend the knee and shift forward. And take that again. Shifting hips back, lengthening all parts of the body, and then shifting the knee forward. Put a soft bend in that back knee. Press into the toes and step to the top of the mat. Rise all the way up. You can bring the arms with you, lifting the arms up and overhead. And then fold back down again. Forward fold. Set the hands on the block if that feels good. Put more weight into your right foot. We're going to lift that left foot, step it back. Send it back as far as you can. Find yourself in that lunge. Back leg is active, and then we shift the hips back. We lengthen the leg. We try to root the back heel, and we rock forward. And again. I'm going to take one more. I think I took 4 on the other one. It just feels good. The next time that front knee bends, pause. Okay, big step. We're going to press into that left foot, the back foot, lift the right foot, step it back behind, and then tap the knees to the ground. Whew. Rise up. Little high kneel, reach the arms up and overhead. And then take the hands down the sides of the body. Imagine you've got pockets in the back of your body. Fingertips go down into the pockets right there on the bum. Think about lengthening the thighs. And you might use a soft touch of the fingertips to shift the hips forward. And then squeeze the elbows together. They won't touch probably. You might find opening across the chest, a variation of camel pose. And then release from that. Ooh, return to tabletop with or without blocks. This time the left leg extends back behind us. We float it from the mat. We'll do that same transition, adding on. Set the left toes down on the mat, press into the mat, hug the right knee in toward the chest, big step, right foot comes forward. Maybe you find your blocks. One time we'll straighten both legs, sending the hips back, and then bend the knee. Pause here in the runner's lunge. I'm gonna take my right arm forward, make it move toward the window. Circle that arm up to the ceiling, adding a twist here. We're gonna take that hand around behind us, any amount. And then keep circling that right hand, send it back down toward the block or the mat. Put a soft bend on the left knee that gives you some propulsion. Step to the top. Press into the feet and rise up. Arms can extend. And then fold back down again. Blocks are nice here. Shift your weight into the left foot, lift the right foot. We're gonna reach it back to the back of the mat, knee up or down, your choice. Pause wherever you are. Right hand stays, left arm reaches toward the front of the mat, circles up toward the ceiling, back behind you. And then bring that hand all the way down and around. Straighten the front leg one time, shift the hips back, and then bend both the knees. Tap the back knee down if you want, or leave it lifted. Press into the block, step back, a variation of our plank, all the way into tabletop. Pull the hands toward the bum. Setting your hands in imaginary pockets, drawing the elbows toward one another, shifting the hips forward. You might start to hinge back. Hinge is a funky word. To round the spine over, extending as you round, and then release. Set the hands down, blocks or mat, your choice. Move through cat and cow 2 or 3 times, please. Okay. And then pause, neutral. Bus stop number 1 is to think about moving to the top of the mat through tabletop. Bus stop number 2 is to take a down dog. If you're taking a down dog, you're going to tuck the toes and shift the hips back, lengthen through the spine. Bus stop number 3 is to keep the length through the spine, but start to lower the heels down toward the mat. They never have to touch, but they might. And then we all find our way forward, full top of the mat. If you're in down dog, I'm just walking forward. In your forward fold, let the feet be wide enough to create some stability. Let the spine roll over. Shake the head a few times, yes or no. And then a half lift will extend the spine. Slide your hands to blocks, shins, or thighs. I want you to think about straightening the legs, sending the hips over the ankles, lengthening through the spine, top of the head toward that window. And then fold again. Feel free to bend the knees. Circle the arms out and up, or even just straight forward and up. And then release the hands. We'll meet in mountain pose, Tadasana. In your mountain pose, again, that foundation, some teachers are really big on big toes together and heels apart. I'm like, hey, find what feels good through your hips. What creates that stable pelvis? Perfect. Okay. And then from our mountain pose, think about lifting the ribs up off of the waist. Creating more length. You might feel the shoulders rise. If they rise up to the ears, shrug them around the back. Lengthen through the neck. And then find that 3-part breath. Imagine the belly expanding, the ribs, collarbone,
And then letting the breath slide right out over the ease. Take another one just like that. Natural breath comes in. Bus stop number 1, you're not really balanced all the time and you like a little extra support. If that's you, you're just gonna slide over to a space on the wall or the window. If you are like, nope, I don't need support, that's fine too. We're all gonna root through the right foot. Left knee is gonna lift up. We did this when we were on our back, we marched, right? Flex through the foot, hug the knee in toward the body. Beautiful. Take that knee out away from the body. It's moving toward the parking lot. It's not touching. Captain Morgan, I don't know how to say that asana in Sanskrit. And then hug the knee back in front of you. Set it back down. Try that on the other side. Shift the weight into that left leg. Stack the bones. Find that straight leg. Right knee lift. Flex through the foot. Feel the engagement. And then move the knee away from the body. Out to the side. No connection. What's happening with your pelvis? Bring the knee forward again. Set the foot back down. Most of the time, the pelvis is going to tilt and rock and roll. But once you come into that steadiness, I'm searching for some stability. Okay? So as if you're wiggling and shifting at the beginning, okay. But can you stabilize? Okay. Same thing again. Here we go. Right foot roots, left knee lifts. We're going to take it out to the side. Bring it forward again. Bus stop variation. Maybe the foot extends, Padangusthasana, but no strap. And then maybe you take it out to the side, Padangusthasana, but no strap. And then bend the knee. We're going to come into standing figure 4, crossing the ankle over the thigh. Now remember, when we did this lying on the floor, you had to feel the back of the heel, the back of the hamstring, leveling out the bum, back of the shoulders, back of the head. Maybe one arm lifts, maybe both arms left. Are you still drawing the left knee slightly back? Doesn't have to move back, I just want to feel the engagement. Release as you're ready. Same thing, other side. Find that stability through the left. I'm gonna have to switch sides or I'll kick the window. Right leg, knee's gonna lift. We take it out to the side, pull it away from the body, use the adductor muscle, bring it back in. Second variation, extend the leg. Keep reaching with the bottom of the foot, flexing through, try not to lean over to the left. And then bend the knee, coming into figure 4, crossing the ankle over the other leg. Find your stability in this figure 4 tree pose. Find the stableness of the pelvis. Maybe the branches grow. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe none. And then eventually releasing all of that, letting it go. It's not Iyengar, it's not even yoga, but separate your feet. Bend in the knees and then just hula hoop the hips. I'm like, it should be, right? The hula asana, we should call it. And then take those hips in the opposite direction, give them a little bit of mobility, a little bit of trademark that. Hula asana. That in my applause asana when we come out of the toe stand. Okay. Let's start to gather up more props. I'm gonna use my blanket, comes off the shelf in the Cindy fold, and I'm gonna fold it into a very long rectangle. And I'm gonna slide that blanket to the top edge of my mat. Okay. And then I'm gonna find my bolster, and I set the bolster on the mat just past the blanket, so more to the center. Okay. I am setting up for pigeon pose with supports. Remember, support is a bus stop. You don't have to have it. So Billy, if you have yours at the end of the mat, your head's going to be facing the props. If you want your head to face the window, just shift it to the other side. And then just come to stand. I'm gonna come probably near the back of the mat, maybe the back third of the mat. Find yourself in mountain pose again. Find that stability through the spine. And then reach the arms up, out to the side or up to the ceiling. And then start to fold forward. Let the arms carry you down, folding, folding, folding. Bend the knees so much that the hands come down to the mat. Hands are gonna crawl toward that bolster. You might even put your hands on the bolster, tap the knees down. Okay, I'm gonna take my hand onto the blanket, crawling a little forward, even past the blanket. We'll start with the right leg. I'm gonna think about hugging that right knee in toward the body, hugging it in, kicking the foot out to the side like figure four. Feel free to let the hands support you as you slide that shin on the blanket. The bolster is gonna catch the right bum cheek. Your back leg can be bent out toward the long edge of the mat. It can be straight. Either one is fine. We're focusing here on the right ankle of the leg. If you got a really high bolster, it might take several little finaggering, I don't know the word, shifting, adjusting. You might have to use both hands to get there. But I want to feel more of the bum on the bolster rather than the knee on the bolster. I want to feel most of the pelvis on the bolster. Perfect. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna add a back bend here. Start to walk your hands closer toward you. Bus stop number one is just press the hands down and lengthen up through the spine. If you're like, I got this, Catherine, you can take your hands around behind you. You can even hold your own hand and open up through the chest. Wherever you are, there might be one more breath. And then hands will come down to support you. Set them down. I'm gonna set my hands down. I'm gonna pause for a minute. I'm gonna think about that right hip crease, just like we did with Padangusthasana. I'm gonna hug the right hip back. You might feel the thighs magnetize toward one another. And then there's an invitation, stay here or soften, fold over. Another bus stop that we didn't talk about, sometimes the knees won't do this, is you can come back to figure four. Just like we did on the back. It's the same maneuvering, the same movement, but with less stress on the legs. Notice what happens when my voice gets quiet. Does the body scream, complain? Does the mind start to fill with chatter? And some of you are going to stay nice and soft, just chilling out. Some of you might press the hands back into the mats and just find a little bit more length through the spine. Some of you might start to walk the hands, the elbows, the arms, the body over toward that right bent leg. So adding a side bend, a side stretch. We're still magnetizing the thighs together. We're still hugging the right hip crease back. We're just adding a little extra length through the left waist, left rib cage. And then we'll all meet with the hands back down on the mat. We gotta switch sides. Not an easy feat. I'm gonna come back the way I came. You can even move through a down dog. That might give you more space. Hugging the right leg in, shifting it back. If it doesn't work for you, come any way that feels good. And then at your own pace, with your own time, with your own flow, go ahead and come into that pigeon pose on the left side, laying the shin on the blanket, the outer bum cheek on the bolster. Again, feel free to bend the right leg. We're focusing more on this front leg. or straighten if that feels good. We'll start with the back bend, the active pose, lifting up through the body. You can keep fingertips on the mat. You can hug the hands around behind you. We're looking for a lift through the chest, engagement along the back, not a crunch, not a shortening, but an engagement, tightening of the muscles. And then eventually inviting the body to soften over that left leg, whatever variation you're in. Maybe you notice the pelvis again, you hug that pelvis back, leveling out the pelvis. I like the feedback of the bolster. You might feel that you're leaning over to one side more than the other. So see if you could even level out right to left, not just top to bottom. Again, you've got that choice to stay soft and relaxed, back out of it, or maybe add the side bend, walking the hands and the elbows over toward that bent left knee. And then we explore, how do we get out? You might bring the hands forward. We're going to meet on our bum, so you might move through that down dog. You could also just shift all the weight over to the left, lean into the left hand, and help lift that right leg around. And then if you just slide off the back of your bolster, the bolster catches your legs. You can use that blanket for a little pillow under the head for Shavasana. We'll make our way down. As you start to settle down onto the mats, you're searching for a space that brings you comfort, that brings you a bit of ease. You're always welcome to take that traditional approach with the legs slightly spread and relaxed. You can always take a different variation, bending of the knees or even seated. Soft bend across the forehead. The eyes be heavy in sockets. Rest the jaw, the tongue. Soften the muscles along the throat. Here we simply be.
And become aware of the breath again. Inviting that inhale to grow, to expand. Letting that expanding breath bring movement to the body. Might be toes and fingers, ankles and wrists. Move first. Might be a big full body stretch. If you have a bolster under the legs, I like to press my legs down into the bolster and float my bum up off the mat. Feels really good in my body. And then make your way to sit. Sitting in any comfortable seated shape, facing any direction. Traveling any way that works for your body in this moment. Knowing that we have time, we're not in a rush. And then as you come to sit one last time, just notice the pelvis. Is it rocking forward? Is it rolling back? Could you create stability? From that stability, lengthen the spine. Feel free to join me. I'll take a breath, circling the arms up and overhead, and sliding the palms together down the midline. Pausing at the thumbs at the heart, Anjali Mudra. Returning hands to the lap is always available. Soft tuck of the chin, just a moment. Gratitude. Gratitude for the practice together. Gratitude for the movement, for the awareness, for the breath. From my heart to each of yours, namaste.